Hey everybody, welcome back. If you guys didn't watch the last video, go ahead and check it out. It was the Agron division. This time we'll be doing the Larion division, and the fun thing about that it is both me and my partner's division for this one. And once again, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
I'm the partner on Dragons of Smite, and I also go by Andy, and I've been around the draft league around like 4 or 5 years, so
Yeah, we've been around for a while, to say the least.
very long time.
We're old, but either way, so we're gonna be doing Larion now, and to start us off, we'll be going with King Farfetched. Just we'll call him King for now, and he has
A team.
a team, indeed, a team and team indeed. Would you like to start with this team?
Imagine you're first in the draft. Fuck, you get that lucky number one, and you're like, man, what am I gonna what is the team? What's my first pick? And then I pick Slowbro Galar as my first overall pick. That's just like asking for disaster right there, just from the start.
In
And then, and then right afterwards, he picks up a second psychic type. He goes psychic into psychic, and then proceeds to draft Trick Ramon after Trick Ramon after Trick Ramon.
he had to get his
draft.
he had to get two trick room setters, and then had to get his trick room.
Yuxi is one, too.
Doesn't Slowbro Gather learn trick room?
Yeah, there's three. There's Slowbro Galar, Stack Attack, and Yuxi.
Yeah, but Sakateka doesn't really want to set his own trick room, to be fair.
Oh, sometimes he does.
Well, sometimes he does, but sometimes he doesn't.
Yes, of course. So,
sometimes you want to click trick room, and then you turn from Yuxi to Stacka, and then click buttons.
And Stack Attack goes ham. The issue is, when Trick Room goes down, what the fuck is this team doing?
Yeah, this team. Something that I always tell people that want to go trick room, because I actually really like trick room. It's a fun mechanic, and with room service, you can make mid-speed Pokemon good in trick room. The problem with it is that your whole draft cannot be around trick room. Well, you have to have a core. Yes, you have to have a core being trick room. So, for example, you want 1 to 2 setters, which he has. You want 1, 2, maybe 3 if you're two covered kind of the same types of trick room abusers. Usually, you want 1 physical, 1 special, and your third one is to cover anything that the other 2 wouldn't. So, like, for this one, for example, he has 3 physical, and then Cursula, which I guess would he be his special, but Cursula's not the best Trick Room abuser. You could have gotten Vika Volt instead. That is a really good Trick Room abuser, and is also good out of Trick Room. The problem with these is the 3 Pokemon you decided to choose, except for Alolan Marowak in some situations, is really only that good in Trick Room.
I'm just so disappointed. Trick Room is like my gimmick. It is my thing.
No, it's my gimmick.
So comfortable
Don't
drafting.
lie. That is mine.
No,
Fuck
literally,
off.
if I had to pick a style of draft, you know, everyone has their like hyper offensive, bulky offensive.
Oh, yeah.
I would always pick Trick Room.
True. To be fair,
And
Trick
this
Room
is-
is my second favorite gimmick. My favorite
It's
gimmick
so
is
much
Sand.
fun.
My favorite gimmick will always be
Aw,
Weather
boo.
because T-Tar X Control are just will win at me at games anytime.
Any game,
Yeah, the leagues that I could just win easily, if they give me T-Tar X Control, I just win. There is no other way to look at that. But
I'm so sad with this team.
yeah,
I don't even want to look at it.
I don't even
Gets
want
me-
to look at it.
It gives me like, it's almost the fact like I like the Clam Pearl. Like I
That's
like the Clam Pearl as the
rough.
best mon. I
That's
like his
rough.
Clam Pearl because it's cute. It's a cute mon. And that's all I've got to say with this team. This team might be just as bad as Marshy's from from Agron.
Yeah, you know what the worst part about this is?
What?
They're not even the worst team here.
Oh, I know.
It gets worse.
There's a few that are really bad.
Yes, and
But
a good example of that is our next one. But we first got to give a grade to King here.
Okay, no, I say this team is worse than the next one. I'm giving this one an F. I
Really? You
can't.
think this is worse than the next one?
It hits too close to home. How can you screw up Trick Room? You go you go two setters, 2 to 3 abusers, 1 support mon if you want, and then other things that work outside Trick Room so you're not dying when you're outside of your Trick Room.
The one thing I will
And
say
you
is
failed
while this team can't do anything outside of Trick Room,
Oh,
at
in Trick
least
Room, this team
can do things in Trick Room, and it's the reason why I think it's better than the next team. Because at least it
Okay,
has a
that's
way
fair,
to win.
So
I would
pretty
say
much,
this is a C
don't let your
plus team.
setters die, and good luck about doing that. 'Cause yeah,
This
that's
is
gonna
a
be
C
hard
plus
when
team.
you just bring a ghost type Pokemon. It's just gonna go through both of those setters.
Yeah,
So.
dude, it's actually half of his Trick Room team is weak to Ghost type moves. Slowbro, Uxie, Marowak, Cursula. But don't worry, he's got Boofalan. He's got Boofalan.
Yeah, and then if he fights a special ghost type, because most of them are special, Stack Attack is gonna die too, because it can't take a ghost move too
And most of
long.
them have fighting coverage, so it's not like he's
Yeah.
gonna. And that means Boofalan also is gonna die. Yeah. But either way, I gave this team a C, kinda plus.
Okay. I'll give it a D plus.
A D
He failed.
plus.
But at least it wasn't enough where he has to go cry to mom out. He's gonna drop out of school. Bad grade.
True.
So, you know.
Alright, so speaking of
let's
that
go to the
reference,
next
we're going to go to the next person of Gib Goblin. So his team. So think of the last
looks
team.
good on paper.
On paper, it looks good, and then you look
It's
closer.
not.
And then you look closer, and you go, wait a minute. wait a minute. So, Feraligatr, good. Chandelier, okay. Shaman, way overpriced.
I like Shaman.
I think it's overpriced.
But I do like Shaman.
Then you have Xatu, which is okay. Frail, but
There's
works.
no wish passer.
Aggron, you could have done so much better at fucking
Done
round 5.
Yep.
Then he went Golbat. Golbat works. Sandslash, once again, could have done
One of
better.
my favorites.
Could have done better. Scrafty,
Yes.
works. Ambipom, great, Mon.
I think
Clefairy.
Ambipom's a sleeper mon.
Clefairy, overpriced as fuck.
Yeah.
And then Coughing for
We ignore the coughing.
what reason?
I don't know.
Yeah, so let's go over what's wrong with this team. Well, actually, let's try to figure out what's right with this team first.
Okay, well, he should never have a hazard against his team. He's got 2 magic bounce, no, 1 magic bounce.
No, he only has 1 magic.
Never mind,
Yeah.
he's got 1 magic bounce.
He has 1 magic bounce, and
And
he's
if
got
so,
he's
he's
got
still got
2
2
defog
defoggers.
and a rapid spinner.
Yeah. So he should never have a hazard on his team. On his side. He's got a few mods I like, personally. I love Shaman, I love Sandslash, I love Ambipom, and Feraligatr. They're all cool Pokemon. It's such a bad team. I don't know how to start.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so let's try to assume that we're giving this man advice, right? So let's go down that line, right? So the first advice I'd give to you is, what was your plan? Because what's
type.
Yeah, what's the speed on this team? Ambipom and Shaman.
Shaman.
And that's it. So
Xatu.
yes. So now, what is your answer to speed control? Tailwind.
Nothing.
You
have Ambipom.
You got Ambipom. This team is
you can
going
outspeed
to
the Uxie on the other team. There you go.
Yes, this team does not switch into ghost types very well. Ambipom is your answer, and if Ambipom is your answer to defensive typing, that is not an answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think this team
gets bodied by an ice type.
Gets bodied by
He's got Aggron and Chandelure.
Yeah.
Chandelure doesn't want to take a hit.
Yeah, true. I definitely think, like, this team in particular, though, I don't think anything's going to happen unless he starts setting up. Every single mod that he could win with needs to set up for, like, at least 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, for Alligator, to be fair, is a win con in
For
itself.
Alligator is a win code by itself, and that is the reason why
Yeah.
this team isn't the last team.
I don't think it's last place. That's again why I think it's better than the previous
You
one.
think it's better than the previous one. I don't,
Mhm.
because I see this team losing a lot of its matchups because
A lot of them.
it just doesn't have really good answers to everything that it wants to do. Alright, so let's see. An electric type comes through. What's your answer? Sand Slash. Cool. If it dies, what's your answer then? You don't have
Shaman.
one. Yeah, Shaman's your next
You
best
got
answer.
Shaman.
Yeah.
That's your next best.
Yeah, so...
Water types. You have for Alligator and Shaman.
Hell yeah, bro.
And water types gotta go through everything else.
Yeah, well, either way, I give this team a C minus personally.
What, I gave D plus to the other?
You
I'll
did
give
give
this
D+.
one a C.
You're gonna give it a C? Alright, alright.
Mostly because I feel like if this team gets that for Alligator moving, even if it gets that Scrafty moving, this team can make things happen. So, and also Rocky Helmet is going to be your worst downfall.
Oh yeah, Rocky
Just
Helmet's
saying
not
it
gonna be
here,
fun.
right now.
Yeah, not gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright,
it's
so
not gonna be
on to
fun
the
play
next team. Oh, breath of fresh air. Just ignore the last Pokemon.
with. Hey, Karkle's a cool mon.
It's never getting brought.
It's a cool
never
mon.
bringing brought. He got it just so people could not say that Moltres was his only hazard defense.
Mm-hmm, pretty much.
That is the
And
only
now
reason
he
why
has
he has it.
a rocker, a better rocker.
Oh yeah, a better rocker.
He's got two really good rockers. Never mind. He wanted a third rocker.
Yeah, no. Karkle's clearly his best rocker, right?
Yes. Ignore the Rodriguez Reggie.
Not Rodriguez.
They don't exist. What are those mons?
Walls. Really, really hard to break walls.
Honestly, wait. Think about it for a moment. The only glaring weakness this team has is he's got a really bad fire weakness. Now, if you bring that Karkle with Steam Engine, he can sweep a team with Karkle, and I want to see that happen. High key, I want to see Adrian pull up with his fucking Speedwagon and 6-0 a team of Karkle because they tried to use Flamethrower on him, and he's gonna laugh at him.
Yeah, I will say this team definitely is a little bit fire weak and flying weak. More flying weak, if anything. But I will say that Araquanid is a good answer for fire, especially because Water Bubble is basically the thick fat for fire, or is another version of thick fat, basically.
Thick fat,
it just takes half of it instead. But
Aromatisse doesn't care if you use a Flamethrower at all, so...
Yeah, Aromatisse doesn't really care that much. It's a really tanky... It's pretty specially defensive, and good Wish Passer to Registeel, which is amazing. Rodriguez, which is amazing. He even brought webs for his Heracross, which is what we were complaining about for Aggron. He's even got... He's got 2 T-Spikers. He has 2 normal Spikers. Or Rodriguez, no, just 1 normal spiker. So he has really good hazards. Realistically, the only problems this team has is that it has really, really low hazard control with the fact that Moltres is forced to go heavy duty boots defog every match, and the fact that it's a little bit flying and fire weak, but he's got answers. But I'd say this is definitely a really good team.
I have to say I love offensive teams. Like a nice offensive with nice defense. This team really is like the picture perfect draft for playing offensive, but yet having those nice defensive pivots. I think it's a really good draft.
I'd agree. I would rate this just a solid A.
I would give it an A minus. The little slight glaring type matchups can be a problem for the team, but other than that, I think it's good.
I would say it's the reason why it's not A plus personally.
Yeah, I still give it A minus. I want to see that perfect team for the A plus.
Exactly. All right. Well, either way, going to the next team, we have Twee Elephant's team.
My matchup for week 1.
Yes, your matchup for week 1, and I'm actually quite happy with how this team actually ended up in the end. Like, obviously, it's got a few weaknesses because it's a weather team, and weather teams will always have the same weaknesses depending on what weather you are. But I'm very glad that this team doesn't need weather to be good. And that's always something you need on a weather team. You need to make sure that you can win without weather.
And that's why I'm so scared for this week, is because I don't know if he's bringing weather or if he's not, which is always a fear. Like if you draft like um a, s- an Excadrill team, you're expecting sand to come out of that.
Yeah, Sand's going to
But
come out quite often, or at the very least,
yeah,
Excadrill's showing up every week. Maybe not Sand,
hmm
but he's showing up every week.
yeah, exactly, and that's a fear. This team gives me even more fear because it could also not be sand.
Yeah, true. I mean,
So,
he has a really good defensive core within Gastrodon and Chestnut. Really cover each
hmm
other's weaknesses quite well. He does obviously have the fact that flying, water, and rock types kind of just run through this team.
hmm
Those coverages kind of really hurts him bad. He also doesn't really have the best steel answer either. Um,
hmm Your
but
defensive steel is Doug Trio. It's kind of
yeah, he
dog
does. Yeah,
shit.
does not have a defensive steel type, which is always worrying.
It's a sand abuser though,
Yeah,
so.
and but I do like pickups like Scyther, for example, really helping with the fighting type weakness that he's going for here, especially because he
Mhm.
doesn't have a dark type. Might as well give it like Scyther with Eviolite. Really can tank those teams. I like that he ended up picking Morpeko in the end to give him a little bit more hazard control, and the
Yeah.
fact that Morpeko can actually start like swiping teams if in the right matchup. He even
And
has
part
magic
shot.
bounce if he needs it, and parting shot. I think a lot of these mons kind of really give him what he wants. I think
And
if he had a better, like if he had another steel type that was defensive, and maybe that and maybe if his flying or um, if both his flying types weren't 4 times weak to rock, that'd probably be better.
hmm So yeah, I think that's a major problem. Is Hatterini likes to come in. The issue is Hatterini doesn't like to take damage. So fearing that a Stealth Rocks is gonna come out and then suddenly getting hit, because Hatterini most I'm thinking like a lot of steel types have Stealth Rocks, so that Hatterini's gonna be coming in as bait for the Stealth Rocks coming out, and then it's just gonna get hit by a steel type move, and then you've lost your hat. That's kind of a yikes moment.
Yeah,
That
I think this team definitely, if it had a Wishpasser, I think this team would definitely be instantly a grade above.
yeah, it's 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 good. No, I think this team's pretty good. I'll give it a B plus, maybe even A minus kind of grade. I have high hopes for this team. They're gonna end up really well.
Yep, I would say B plus, A minus. That's kind of where I'm putting it right now. All right,
All
going on to
right.
the next team. We have Lucas 2. There's 2 Lucases in this draft. One in
There
Aggron
is.
and one in Larion. And they both just have Lucas and in numbers. It is really hard to tell them apart. But for
Honestly,
this team, though, this one's
this
called the
team has a
Gingerbread
problem with
Games.
passivity. Like that's the issue when you
Extremely
draft these
passive.
passive teams. Is I don't know what you're doing outside of your
Yeah,
passive mode.
something
Maybe you're
that
really good with it.
something that I wrote in my notes is I said, Lucas, when you know your team's hardest hitting special attacker is Haunter, there's a problem.
Is that true? Wait.
It's-
Brutal Frost. Okay, that is not true. Executor Alola has 5 higher special attack. Check your facts, bro.
okay. Okay. I'm sure that the Alolan Zegator is going to put more value on this team than the Haunter's going
The
to.
Haunter. I mean, hey,
The
he
Haunter can
does have
actually
a
outspeed things, though.
yeah. I mean, he's got a Trick Room setter, 2 Trick Room setters.
I mean, you do.
His abuser
This is the
is,
third team that has a mini Trick Room team. King went full on Trick Room. Twee's
Yeah.
team has Hatterene to set up Trick Room, and
I don't think he's
has-
gonna go Trick Room too.
I
often,
doubt
to
it,
be
but
fair.
however, he could do room service Reggie Draco, and with
He
Trick
could.
Room, and that could be
Ooh,
something
that
he could
sounds
do.
nasty.
Yes, and if he didn't want to run the Dragon Dance thing and he wanted to run like something different, that could be a way to do it. And then we have this team that also has a mini Trick Room with Slow King.
But
And
who's
like,
abusing it?
it's only Alolan Zegator and Caparaja. Those are the only 2 mons that are going to be able to abuse it on this team. Which, to be fair, does
They're
hit
good
my
mons.
checklist. Does check my checklist of if you're going to draft a Trick Room team, you have 1 setter or
No,
2 setters.
Scorch doesn't sound
and
like
you
it'd
have
be
one of
bad
each.
in Trick Room.
It doesn't
either.
need Trick Room, though.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying it doesn't sound like it could be bad in it.
Yeah, but it really does not want to give up its item slot for a room service to...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
to make it abuse it.
And it's in like one of those mid-speed ranges. I think it's like 60 or
It's
70.
65.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not going to be able to abuse it too much, but I mean, it definitely will be better than others.
Yeah. I mean, this is so far the best Trick Room team I've seen because you've got abusers outside of it. Like Archeops, which is not a good abuser, but at least it's fast. So
Yeah,
we'll
I mean
give you
he's
that
got
point.
he's got Archeops and Hitmonlee for speed, right? And with Leopard and Haunter technically there as well, right? And then
Yeah.
he's got his good defensive switch-ins with like Mudsdale, Florges, Caparaja sometimes, and like things like that. I do think that his cores are a little weak because like his
Yeah, a little
Fire,
bit.
Water, Grass core starts off great and then goes off the deep end hard. Um,
I like this team, but it seems very average. This is like what I
this
the
this
most
is
average.
literally what you would define as average. This is an average draft, and this is what I literally put him at 7, like just shortly below the average number.
Yeah, that's fine. Issue I have with, I know you want to do stuff outside Trick Room. Hitmonlee, you don't have any way to necessarily abuse your Unburden.
Yeah, that's the way. You would be.
Yeah, I know you're thinking of room service Hitmonlee, and then you brought the Trick Room and somehow you're 2 times. No, stop it. It's a bad idea.
Bro, it works! It works!
I mean, yeah, if you're on your final turn of Trick Room. That actually sounds kind of like a funny meme.
Bro, I want to do that now. Oh man. Oh, that sounds funny like so much fun. Yeah, but I mean, obviously the Unburden's not going to be procced that often. It could be one of those things where maybe he brings like an air balloon or a like a lumberry to get it procced fairly easily.
Or he can go indoor and go one of the stat increasing berries.
You could like go that. He could also do. He could also do the what is it? The like red card. So where he could switch in and then like use a setup move as he gets hit, and then he gets the setup move on. Which I think he doesn't have sword sense. He has bulk up, so he could click bulk up once. So now he's a +1 with double his speed. That could be an option.
Or you could do what I do with Hitmonlee, and I press purse instead of bulk up, which is just essentially that, but then you proc White Herb.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I mean, hey, technically it's better because then you're procking your own bird.
Oh my goodness! I mean, yeah, but like, think about it. No.
I know. I'm just saying it's
because if they lower your stat, because if they like lower your stat before you get the curse off,
yeah, you're kind of fucked. Yeah, it's got some problems with it. So like, if an Intimidate Mon comes out or your webs,
I mean that could be another one. Just do White Herb with and like click bulk up against an Intimidate Mon. That's one way to do it. But yeah, either way, I would put this team as just a B, average.
I was gonna say probably B.
Yeah,
just an average.
That's it, B. All right, on to the next team.
6, right?
Huh?
We're on team 6, right? Yeah.
Yes.
That's Slappers.
Yep. I'm just gonna spoil it right now. This is the worst team in this draft.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Your saving grace is a Ditto.
Imagine imagine Ditto being your saving grace.
Yeah, Ditto is your saving, and Cloyster. You have a Cloyster.
I mean, like this team has really good offensive options. This team can't take a hit for its life.
You have a Guzzler right there.
Yeah, what?
And you have Guzzler. That's honestly a bad thing. But you know, you have Guzzler. You can't take a hit.
This team is just a ticking time bomb of can Cloyster and Swellow kill things before they kill them. And I don't like it. I really, really don't like it. Dare I say this is worse than Marshy's team.
No, I don't think it's worse than Marshy's team. At least this guy had a plan. He wants to go hyper offensive, and he's got a few win cons. and he's gonna do everything in his power to try to make those win cons
Yes,
win.
but this team literally has each mon die in one hit. Every single one of these mons will die in one hit. And at least Marshy's team can have some defense.
Yeah.
Well, Guzzlord just gets hit by a fairy type move and dies.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I've seen Guzzlords live a fairy move.
I mean,
as long as it's not like Moonblast.
Don't worry, his switch in for fairy type moves is his level 2 Pawnyard.
Hell yeah, let's go. Hey, I've had Pawnyard come clutch as an offensive steal.
No, you did not.
I will show you that right now. It got 4 kills,
bullshit.
And I was proud of it.
I call bullshit on a Pawnyard.
I will.
Unless this was LC, unless this was an LC draft, I will never believe that shit.
No, it wasn't. It was another low tier draft.
Oh god, that's so sad.
It literally came so clutch for me. I will show you it after this is done. Let's keep going.
So this is a D. This is a D for me.
This is a D. I'll give it a C-. I'll be nice. I'm a nice guy.
I'm not being nice for this one. I was nice for what I give for Exo's video. This is where I shit on people and insult them.
Wow, bully man.
Exactly. I have to uphold my reputation. So next is your draft. So because this is our division, how we'll do this is when it gets to our teams, we'll explain what we wanted to do with it, and then the other person will rip it apart. So by all means, go ahead.
Okay, are we ready? You know what I wanted to do with this team? Not draft it. I did not want any of these mods. I had 2 different teams planned, and I got sniped to death, and so I had to make do. So I guess what I decided with my team is Zygarde is a cool mod, and I've always wanted to try it. I've always done Zygarde regular form, but I wanted to try the 10%. And I went, okay, how am I going to cover my ice weakness? I'm going to go in Polion. How am I going to cover my ground weakness? And I went
Salazzle.
Mo. No, I did not play Salazzle. Actually, I traded Salazzle for another mon for Salazzle once I got Rotom Mo.
Okay.
Then how did I want to cover my fire weakness? And I went, well, shit, I don't have anything for this. And here's where my entire draft thing falls apart.
I gotta cover my fire weakness. Let's draft 2 Pokemon that are immediately weak to fire.
Yes, I know. And that's the issue I had with my draft, is I had all of these mons planned up for it that are going to cover my weaknesses. And I'm going to abuse it. And then I went snipe after snipe after snipe. And then I was struggling. I'm like, I need to find the fairy type Pokemon. And I went Comfey, which isn't bad, but it doesn't work for my team.
It does not.
And so I'm like, this whole draft kind of fell apart. And I tried to make some. It was worse before I made free agent swaps. So I'm slightly happier with how it is now. But, you know, it's got its glaring weaknesses. It's got its strengths too. But
yeah, so this is
pretty offensive.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with exactly what I said to Dragons before we did this recording. If Rotom dies, he loses the matchup.
The game, yep.
There is no recovering from it. And that's really all that is need to be said. I mean, realistically, his top 5 mons are decent, right? Comfey was a little bit like looking down, and then he went, yes, Ninjask at 9. Clearly, this is a good point mon to grab. I don't understand why. Then Regice, which also makes no sense why you drafted it.
Okay, no, Regice is really pivotal to my draft because, like, having a good ice type with a 200 base special defense, which was supposed to be my Aromatiz's job, and then I got it sniped immediately before. So
unfortunate.
I just cried in a corner, and I was like, I need a specially defensive tanky mon.
So the Chimecho, what's that for?
Wish Pass if I ever need it.
Okay.
Yeah. If I ever need it, I've got a Wish Passer.
So, question: why did you go Chimecho Porygon instead of just grabbing Kamola?
Kamala,
which is Wish Passing and Rapid Spin. It is Wish Pass and Rapid Spin.
Now I think about it, I might be better now. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Maybe I wanted a psychic type. I don't know what I was thinking.
Would you
Now
want
I'm
a
gonna go.
I think Chimeco has levitate.
Yeah, Chimeco's got levitate. It's actually got like some wing con moves too. Like Chimeco, it can
Chimeco's
go pretty offensive.
Chimeco is so bad of a pawn.
I
Its
know,
stats
it's a
are
bad
so
one.
bad. At least Kamala, you can't get statused. You literally
Mm-hmm.
can take any toxic, any fucking sleep,
Is,
anything.
is Kamala actually 5 points in this league? That's criminal.
I would have grabbed it if I didn't need the things that I did grab. Like, honestly, it is very valuable of a pick. I'm surprised it wasn't drafted more.
Oh, it's 8 points. Okay, no, it's more expensive than
Yeah,
I thought. I was
it's
gonna say,
8.
that's a
Yeah.
5 point Kamala. That's robbery.
I think I think you could 100% drop Ninjask and then Chimeco Porygon, pick up Komala, and then pick up a different Mon. That is decent.
For sure.
But yeah, clearly but that is after draft, and that is after grace period. This is what you have now, and I don't like it. And it doesn't seem like you like it either. Alright, well,
I'm gonna be honest, because I like to rate myself fairly. I say this is a C+ team. It's got its win cons, it's got its abilities to win. It's not good enough that it's going to. I don't know if I'll make playoffs with this team.
I was gonna give you a B-. I was gonna be a little bit nicer.
Okay, so you're nicer to me than I am to myself. You are your harshest critic. Let's be honest.
That is true. All right, so next is Naftin's team. Naftin's team
Is
pretty good. There's not too much wrong with this team.
It's one of the top teams.
Definitely one of the better teams. Yes, I do indeed like it. See, like the thing is in this, like I honestly think like the top like 6 teams are all really good, and then there's this giant block, and then we get to the rest of the teams.
Yeah. So yeah, Aggron is like.
Larion
is.
Larion, yeah.
You can totally see the draft diff between the top 6 and the
bottom
6.
6. Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
middle ground. It's
There
just
really
6
isn't.
really good draft.
No, there is a middle ground.
Really bad.
Lucas is the middle ground. Lucas is the divider between the good people and the bad.
You know, yeah, because we said
his is average. Yeah, because he's the perfectly average draft, and he literally divides the top and the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Good job, Lucas. You helped us greatly.
Job. Yeah. Either way, so Naftin's team. So I personally, I think the end of his draft is kind of where it lost a lot of its thing.
It's okay. It's the end of the draft.
Yeah, but like realistically, right? Like he was getting like good pick after good pick after good pick, and then he grabbed Dual Blade, which he could have grabbed a better Steel type, right? Mm-hmm. And then Rotom Fan is okay, redundant, but okay. Per ugly. I'm assuming for speed reasons, but he wasn't that bad in speed.
Why? Okay, let's have a real conversation. Why is Perugly faster than Latios and Latias?
You know what? I think it was for balancing reasons, because I think that Japan realized that America was going to be like, yo, this fat fucking cat is fast. This is a lie. And Japan was like, it'd be kind of funny.
Okay, that's fair. I appreciate that reasoning.
I mean, Orbeetle... I don't even think...
Orbeetle's good for this team.
Orbeetle is good, but I don't even know if he needs it. Like, Orbeetle... obviously Orbeetle gives you, some good defensive reasoning, gives you screens, it gives you webs.
Okay, but let's think about
who on this team really needs webs? Except for Entei. But Entei's the only mod. Okay, but, here's the thing, right? If you're going to pick Orbeetle, right? And if you're putting it on the team, and its only job is to give webs for Entei... for Entei, I think that's just a loss of a spot. If you don't have more than one abuser to it, I think it's a waste. On that note, I think this team's offensive pressure is very low. I think it's Entei and not much else. Crobat can be offensive.
It can. Doublade can put damage out there,
Doublade can be. It has to go EV like 90% of the time, and a knockoff kills it. But, the rest of this team can be offensive, but isn't something it isn't nothing else on this team is going to be a mod that when you look at your own team and you go, I have to prep because that mod sweeps my team. No, it's mostly Entei sweeps my team, or how do I
And
break,
their weds.
or how do I break their team? Because
Yes.
this team is just really balanced, and then Entei.
Mm-hmm. So what I recommend, I kind of fell into the same mindset as I feel like he did, where he feels like he has to pick up 11 mons. I
I don't
always feel like
understand
that.
why people like. Okay, I'm just gonna. This is a pet peeve for draft leagues when they're like, you
I
can
know.
draft anywhere from 9 to 11 mons. The people who fuck up their drafts just to hit 11 mons, I don't understand it.
Hi,
I don't
I'm
understand it.
here.
I
I'm
don't.
right here. I did that.
I get like, I understand that you want to have more because more Pokemon normally means more options.
Better. Yes.
But 9 Pokemon is already 3 more than
And
what you
need.
have to draft in a normal team cup.
Mhm.
In any given matchup, on average, you can automatically eliminate 2 mons.
Okay, so let's fix his draft for a second, because I feel like it's very easily fixable.
Yeah, so you
he needs to get rid of Absol. He needs to get rid of Rolipede, just immediately.
Absol, I'm actually not that mad that he went. Absol has
Really?
a niche. Absol has a niche
Okay.
of Sword Stance with Focus Sash and just
Okay.
keep sucker punching until you kill something. And if
True.
if they don't attack you, you hit like a truck. It also has
True.
it now because this is non home moves. Pursuit's gone, so it should not be 7. It's
Yeah.
overpriced as fuck, and
It's
and that is
overpriced.
the only reason I would say get rid of it because it is too many points. It should be 5 without pursuit.
True. I'm trying to think of, is there even more better defensive steel types out there right now? I feel like they all got taken.
Yeah, Larion was a little bit better on drafting its types, but let's
Yeah.
take a look here. I mean, Duraludon is still on the board, and he never grabbed a dragon type.
You could get that, and you can play like an Iron Defense body press set
Yeah,
if you wanted to every single week.
And
Like,
Fortress is still
not
up.
bad. Okay, so like there's ways to fix this draft and make it like really solid, and I don't know, and then get an abuser at least special.
Yo, he could drop
wise.
Rotom Fan and grab Magneton.
Yeah, there you go.
Magneton is 7 points in this draft. I think it's lower than it should be. It should be like
Ouch.
8 or 9. Togedemaru too. If you don't want to run Magneton, like you want Togedemaru instead, run that. Like I think there's play still types that he could have grabbed instead that are up.
Yeah.
He
And
could-
we have there's 5 free agents for this. This team could be beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I still would give it a pretty. This is a pretty average team as well.
Honestly, I would give it the same rank I gave Lucas as a B. I do think it's better
Yeah.
than Lucas's team, but I do think it is still average, and that is only
I'll give it a B.
because this team has so much potential, but just needs a little bit of tweaking.
Yep.
All right.
I'll go along right with that B.
All right. So next pick up is Phoenix.
So
think
this is your favorite.
this is my number 1 team, and I'll explain why first. When looking at this team, it has anything that you would ever want. You have powerhouses like Cobalion and Noivern. You have defensive cores like Weezing and Claydol and Delmise and even a good Wish Passion with Audino. The only problem with this team is that its water type is Floatzel, and he's going to lose it some points. However, I'm on the train that this team isn't necessarily in the need of a water type right now because of how strong its Steel Fairy Dragon type core is. It has speed with it basically Floatzel's an offensive water type. So for anything that would need to be defensive for water types, so like your fire types, it has Claydol to match that. If you need to worry about like your rock types as well, you have Delmise and Claydol that can worry about. Even Cobalion can really take care of those as well. And what else am I missing that the water type would necessarily really want to block for? I'll think about it
I'm
later.
not sure.
But either way, like I like when you first look at this team, I would 100% believe that it makes sense that this should not be number 1. But there is just some qualities to it that I just think it's really, really good. I don't know why. I just think it's really good.
I'm gonna say It's not my favorite team. It's definitely top 3. I think the glaring weakness is you have all of this like electric resist and electric immunity, but you're weak. The Pokemon that's weak to water is Float Soul and nothing else.
You mean weak to electric?
So like why?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why do you have all these electric immunities out here?
I think that was
And
more
no
of
way
a
to abuse
coincidence.
it.
I think that was more of a coincidence because, like, I mean,
Okay.
because like you have Jolteon and Claydol, right? And then like what? I mean, I guess Dhelmise too, but that's just because you have a Grass type. And I don't necessarily
Pichu
think
doesn't exist.
Yeah, and I don't think yeah, Pichu's not on this draft. I don't necessarily think this team drafted around electric communities. I think it just happened to become that way.
And also, this team's got crazy immunities. It's got like
Yes.
it's got a normal, it's got 2 grass, it's got a fighting resist, it's poison, 3 ground resist, it's got a psychic resist, ghost resist. It seems like
It's also
solid.
really good speed wise. Gobalion's
Yeah.
good speed, Noivert's good speed, Jolteon's good speed, Sneasel and Floatzel. Like this team is fast as fuck.
I will say that sometimes having a really good solid speed team is gonna like there are a few that the Farfetch that I was harassing on.
Uh-huh.
This team could possibly lose to that team because it's
Yeah.
so fast. Its best trick room
Is
abuser
Dhelmise.
is Dhelmise.
Yeah. I mean, and Wheezing to an extent, I guess. But, like,
Yeah.
obviously, like, that is a downside. But, like, when you're drafting, if your downside is Trick Room, I think you're doing
that's
okay.
not a downside.
I think if your downside is Trick Room, you're doing okay.
I'm trying to point out the weaknesses in this draft. I think it's number 2 overall, but
Yeah,
then again, I didn't really rank these in my head.
The
so-
number 2 spot is what most people put number 1, but I think this team beats that team just slightly, slightly, just on the fact that it has more options.
That's fair. Yeah, this team's gonna be definitely hard to beat. Good job. I'm tempted to give it an A+.
It is 100% an A for me, not A+, because of it does have some weaknesses, but it is a solid A.
Not even like his weaknesses are so easily overcome. Like the worst
Exactly.
part is
That's
dealing
why
with
he's
Stuff
number
Rocks.
1. That's why he's number 1.
Yeah, like I feel like Stuff Rocks is gonna be his biggest weakness, and it's not because he can't get rid of them. He's got plenty of ways to get rid of them, but because like Rocks just genuinely hurts his team.
Yeah, I mean, he has 2 Rapid Spitters and 2 Defoggers.
Yeah, I know. It's not about getting rid of them. You can get rid of them.
Yeah, and
His mods don't like taking chip from
and
him.
like, look at the best part is if a team uses T-Spikes against him, he has a terrain, fairy terrain. Oh wait, no, it's fairy terrain, not the. No, yeah, it's fairy terrain.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to worry about T-Spikes, which like.
pretty-
That's another thing, like that you could kind of complain that his poison type isn't grounded, but who cares?
I mean, if you're going fairy terrain or
I
whatever,
mean, it is grounded in fairy terrain.
then it is grounded.
Yeah, but Weezing
so...
Galar has 3 good abilities. He has Levitate, so he has another ground immunity. He has the Fairy Terrain, so he just doesn't give a shit about status moves, which means that his defensive mons can't be broken by Toxic.
Yep.
And he has Neutralizing Gas, so if there's a mon that can run through him, he just switches to that, and just is like, okay, you don't get to use that ability anymore. Fuck your Slurpuff.
Draft tip: Weezing Galar is one of the best.
Oh, it's one of the
Pokemon,
best. by
Just
far.
period. It
It's just
doesn't even
amazing
matter if you're in a low tier draft or an Uber's draft. Galar Weezing is one of the best Pokemon just because of how versatile it could be.
Oh, 100%.
So-
There is Incineroar is right there with it too. Like
Exactly,
Incineroar is an offensive versatility. Weezing is a defensive versatility.
Expensive, exactly.
And if you get both, mwah.
I'm slowly working up to this maybe being number 1 for me.
You've
convinced me.
I've convinced you. Good.
Congrats. Because the next team is what I personally think is number 1. I really like Benji's team.
Really? All right. So next team is Benji Master. And you think this is the number 1 team, huh?
I think it's genuinely a really good team. It's a sleeper team.
It is a pretty good
Like-
team, but I must ask you one question.
Ground. How's he
Do
doing
you
with ground
think
fighting?
Thwacky is enough? Do you think Thwacky is enough?
Thwacky can overcome it all, man. He is solid. Hey, you got a Cryogonal right there. He can deal with it.
Ah, yes, the Cryogonal who can't take a physical hit for its life.
It'll avoid
Yeah,
the earthquake.
The ground type.
And
Yeah,
then
it will avoid the
reverse.
earthquake, but then die to the rock move.
That doesn't matter. It's fast. It's a fast ice type Pokemon.
Yes, but like let's just think about this for just one quick sec. Just a tiny little second.
Okay.
Yeah. How
I'm
are you
not
going to
thinking.
survive it? Thwacky and Cryogonal are like when your team is all on the kind of like how your team dies if you have Rotom-Mow. This team dies if it loses Thwacky, which is less defensive than Rotom-Mow.
But the issue is you're like Rotom-Mow. You're expecting me to bring Rotom-Mow every single game.
Yes.
I'm not expecting Thwacky to come every single game.
Uh-huh. And I'm expecting him to bring Thwacky every single game unless Cryogonal can actually do something, which I think Thwacky is better than Cryogonal against ground types.
Some of these
unless
teams
it's
are
a water
actually-
it's a water ground where freeze dry is fine, then sure.
Mhm.
Which to be fair,
These
Thwacky
teams
can also
are
take
really
care of
weak
that.
to ice. To be fair, like
Yep.
a lot of them teams.
Yeah, which
So
is why
Cryogonal won't be a bad match.
yeah, Cryogonal's not bad offensively, but if you're using him offensively, then what are you
Can't
doing
use him
defensively?
Okay, yeah. The worst part is when your Dragon, Steel, Fairy core
are all weak to ground.
What are you
You're all weak to ground,
Okay.
man. It's so rough.
I think he just. Now I think about it, yeah, this team.
It's not the
definitely-
number one.
I still think
It
it's
can't be.
good.
It's good.
Oh.
It is good, but it cannot be. I don't think it's top
Take a-
3. It can't be top 3 because of that. I think
I sweep through this team with my Zygarde.
I sweep through this team with what's my ground type? Sandaconda.
I don't know if Sandaconda sweeps through this team.
I don't
That's
know.
classically set up fodder.
It's got coil. It's fine.
No, it'll be okay.
It'll be
Just takes a
fine.
water pulse to the face or something.
It'll
like that.
be fine. Clearly, Sandaconda
It'll
can
be
win the team. All jokes aside, I still think this is still a good team. I would put this B plus, A minus maybe. I think
give it
if
A
it wasn't as glaring as it is, it would be better. But it's rough. It is.
Yeah, this is the type of team
rough.
where you're bringing all 6 of your Pokemon to have some kind of ground coverage.
Yeah, this is the team where you build.
It's that easy.
This is the team where you build Miltank with Bold, Max HP,
Yeah.
with Rocky Helmet, or leftovers, and you just Toxic Stall, and that you hope that's enough. That's what this is.
I don't know why I like this team though. Like, it's got good pressure. It's got good.
It
mons,
definitely has
it-
good pressure.
deal
Like
with
it,
hazards.
you're looking at this team and you're going, it's got Blastoise. It wins. That's
And it's not, and honestly, like, if they're not bringing a ground type, like, his core is really nasty too. But the
Yes.
issue is that if they bring a ground type,
literally
core
this
no longer
team.
exists.
This team will beat any team that their ground type isn't competent.
Yes.
So that team that had what Saint Slash as their ground type, or the Lappers
Sand Slash can
team,
be viable.
the Lappers team that has Golurk as their only ground type, or
Oof.
let's see here. This team the Kings team doesn't even have a ground
Mudsdale.
type. Kings
I
team
don't
doesn't
think
even
a
have a
Mudsdale's gonna
ground type.
Wait, it doesn't?
It doesn't have a ground type.
I mean, Bouffalant can use Earthquake.
Yeah, but like.
That what? And his Pokemon like with Stack Attacker can use Earthquake and Marowak. What else uses ground moves? On that team? Oh my god, that
I
team's
don't know
awful.
about.
Why did you bring me back to that team? I wanted to wipe it from my memory.
All right. Well, yeah. Either way, what's your grade for this?
I'll give it a B plus A minus kind of range.
So same thing I did. All right.
Yeah.
So next team is my
Yours.
team. All right. So
You explain.
I told EXO when I first joined this draft, and I got to see the 19th tier a little early than everybody else because I'm in the staff chat and such. and I got to see it early. So I DM'd EXO, and I said, hey, EXO, I want to build Trick Room this season for fun, unless something good, like Toxicity, gets to me. And then Toxicity got to me. So I was like, well, fuck. I guess I'm rolling with Toxicity. So I grabbed Old Reliable Incineroar with it, and then they gave me Bronzong, which is one of the best pairings with Toxicity. Covers it in every single angle. It's Psychic and it's Ground type, and it even helps vice versa, and it's amazing. Mantine, I think I could have gotten a better one type. I got it a little bit early. I pushed the button a little bit too fast.
Mantine's a great mon.
It's a great mon. It is a great mon. I agree. I do think it could have done better, but I like it now. Okay? I like it now. Slurpuff is a great mon. Gives me webs, which Toxicity and Incineroar both want a lot. Lycanroc even wants it. Virizion doesn't need it. It's 108. To be fair,
I mean, it's always nice.
Webs is always nice, but it doesn't need it. But it could. All of them could use it. Is my thing. And then so I got Webs and Wish Passing with Slurpuff. I got Virizion, which is a really solid, consistent mon. Gives me better speed tiers. Same thing with Frostlass. I just really wanted to drive Lycanroc Midnight because, like, the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, it's a mon that I can click Stone Edge and Iron Tail, and I don't have to worry about it missing. Like, it's just satisfying.
Stop.
It's just satisfying.
I'm already jealous. Stop. The amount of times I missed Stone Edge.
Dude, that is literally... So I was helping one of the Aeron guys. I was helping him with a draft in a different league, and literally they had Lycanroc. And the more I looked at that Pokemon, the more I'm like, I want to use this, man. No Guard is fun.
No Guard goes ham.
Yeah, so then I grabbed Frostless, which gives me, because a lot of teams in this division have really good like Ice type weaknesses or Ghost type weaknesses. So I decided to just get it in a 2-for-1 bundle. And Frostless is also really good because I can go special, physical, fucking whatever I want, really. Could even go fucking utility. Suicide lead with fucking spikes and shit. It's really good variability. And then Sendaconda. I needed a ground type. I had Piloswine, but I switched it out because I wanted like Frostless and stuff. But Sendaconda is something that I've also always wanted to use. It always seemed consistent. Glare is an annoying fucking move, and the fact that it's 100% accurate is not okay. And it's just shed skin, so it can't get toxic stalled. So I'm just like, why not? Yep. If I really wanted to, I could go Sandspit to get Sandstorm to break Focus Sashes. If I really wanted to.
Trying to think. See, I'm here just like, I'll probably put your team lower because I have a good matchup into it because Zygarde.
Yeah, you definitely have a better matchup into this one.
Arrows just kind of goes ham on your team because you can't do anything against it. But
yeah, I mean the one thing that I definitely know that's wrong with this team.
My matchup.
Yeah, that's always hard for me. That's another reason why like I have to always like look back because there are some teams in here that I could swipe but still have a decent team. But the biggest thing that I know for a fact is a weakness of mine is the fact that Mantine is pressured in being the only hazard removal. And of course, only having one is always not the best. But Mantine's a pretty reliable recovery or hazard removal, and that's another reason why I'm not too bad worried. It's got recovery, it's got defog, it has a special defense staff out of this fucking world.
All right, so I guess I'm going to go and hit your team because that is a major glaring weakness. No. Mantine being your only defogger, and then you're having webs on top of it, and a team that likes to abuse webs as well really wants some up and doesn't want to have to deal with stuff rocks coming at you. Or spikes. So that is going to be a massive problem. So I'm just going to predict a lot of hazards are going to come, and some of these teams are actually kind of hazard heavy.
Yeah, which is another reason why this team actually kind of doesn't really care because it can just trade blows with hazards sometimes. Because my team can hazard stack just as fast, but my team has a lot better recovery. I think a lot of my mons actually have recovery that most teams don't. So
pretty much,
I'm a big fan of that.
And you don't have to go webs. You got a Slurpuff that can belly
drum. I literally can
speed.
just walk into a matchup and be like, all right, game over.
Time to 6-0. Yeah, pretty much.
Game over.
Game over. I've clicked belly drum on something, and you're crying now.
You weren't you thought I was setting up webs. Well, little do you know. Dude, I love Slurpuffs. I love Slurpuffs who don't need that third coverage move. So they run webs, so they lead webs, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's webs, I'm fine." So then they bring in a defensive pawn, and then you click belly drum. And they're just like, "Oh no."
And you've lost by turn 10, and you're like,
Well, shit.
I hate my life.
Because just think of this right now, right? Let's say your team was like, okay, I have Scarf, and this Scarf actually outspeeds Unburdened Slurpuff. I'm fine. But he put up webs first.
And now I'm crying.
And now it does no longer outspeed.
Alright. Well, I would give your team A- or an A, somewhere like around that range.
I would
think
personally
it's got
say
a really
A-.
good team.
If I were to rate this team, not knowing it's my team, I would say A-. I'm usually always a big stickler for only having one defogger. I usually give a lot of points off for that. The only reason why I wouldn't put this lower is because if an enemy team is trying to hazard sec against this team, they'll lose to the setup alone. So
yeah, exactly.
I think this is one of the rare occasions where you can't hazard sec easily against this team.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's possible. It's just gonna be hard.
Exactly. So. I agree. All right. And
let's go to the next team, which I still think it's a pretty good team as well.
This is in 100% a very good team, and this is
This is like the first hyper offensive team we have.
Yes, and this is the last team on the list.
Yeah.
But yes,
this is Pineapple's team.
Pineapple's team. I really, really like this team. This is how you use Tauros correctly.
Yes, exactly.
This is how you use Tauros correctly.
Tauros likes two things. When your team can pivot to it, and when it can go ham. Tauros likes the revenge kill, and it likes to one-shot things when it can, and this team will allow it to do so.
Yes. Now, the one thing that this team unfortunately shares with my team is that it is only one defogger, only one hazard removal, and it's a worse mon. It is Articuno.
No, it's got defog, Klefki, and if you want to go defog on Blaziken.
Klefki has defog?
Yeah, Klefki's got defog.
When did Klefki get defog? Hang on.
Klefki's always had defog.
No.
Defog, yep, right here.
Holy shit, it has defog.
Yeah, no, it got defog.
I never knew that. Well, fuck me. Well, the thing with Klefki,
issue is because it goes spikes all the time.
Yeah, Klefki doesn't want to run defog, though.
I mean, you could, because you can always go.
Yeah, I mean, at least you could.
And then set up your hazards or your screens.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Well, then that definitely null avoids that point. Klefki has defog.
Yeah. Like, this team's not bad. I mean, your issue is, some of these mods only are going to run the same item and the same sets every week. Yeah. So it'll be a little predictable.
And his ground type switch-ins is Appleton and Articuno.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, Appleton's not that bad of a switch-in. It's pretty damn tanky.
It is indeed a decent switch-in. And it has self-recovery, so it can definitely take care of itself. This team also has a Wish Pass in Umbreon, which is nice. Even has some speed with Inteleon. I think if this team even had webs, this team would be probably number one.
Yeah, if this team had webs, I think.
If this team had webs, this would be number one.
At the same time, I don't know where you throw webs. You would need 120 points, not 115, to make webs somewhere in here.
I agree to an extent. I also think that you could. Articuno isn't necessarily needed here. I think personally, I don't think you need Articuno here. If you replaced Articuno,
yes, you do have Inteleon for nice.
Yeah, if you replaced Articuno with Vikavolt, this would be perfect. Vikavolt gives you that defog that you needed. Gives you your webs.
He would need to trade off somewhere else. Vikavolt's expensive in this
I am aware. I am aware that he would need a trade off, probably dipping Tauros down more. But my point being is that if he was able to pull that off, this would be what I would consider the perfect draft. Perfect draft.
The sad part is the top 3 teams.
The top 3 teams are so good.
Honestly, the top 4 teams are just all so solid.
Yeah, honestly, on my list, of course, not including me, because I don't want to be biased. I have the top 3
100%. I even put in the notes. I put they're interchangeable, and
Yeah.
the top three being Phoenix, Adrian, and Pineapple. I think those three are interchangeable.
Honestly, I forgot Adrian's team was a team for a second, and I'm looking at it again like, oh, please, I don't want to look at this team. It's going to sweep me again.
Every time you look at it, you're like, "Fuck, that's the team I wanted."
Yeah, shut up. That's the team I wanted. He's lucky I love Adrian. I talk to him like every day. So.
Yeah, but like those three, and of course, biased myself, I would say me included in that top four. Unbiased,
That's
not.
fair.
Unbiased, not, because I'm not gonna rate myself. But yeah, overall though, that would be realistically where I would put it.
Yeah, I mean, and then Benji's team is really good. Twee's team's pretty good.
Yeah. Like
And
overall.
Lucas and Math had average teams, and it would be me, Lappers, King, and Goblin on the bottom
Yeah,
four.
you King, Gib, Gob, and Lappers would be are obviously the bottom four.
I think I'm the top of that bottom four. I'm gonna.
You
give myself
are the
that
top.
spot.
You are 100% the top of those bottom four. I agree
Okay,
with you.
cool.
I already have my rankings, so that is obviously that. Also, we never gave a grade for Pineapple. We just said that he was in the top three. I would say, just like the others, this is a solid A.
Yeah, A-A, pretty much.
Agree.
It's got its weaknesses. Honestly, maybe I would give it an A. You know, screw that A-. It's an A. It's a nice team.
It's an A. All right. Well, all right, for everyone.
We're all done here.
Yep. So let's just show everyone what the rankings are that we decided to go with here. Obviously, yours would differ slightly, and I do have mine in parentheses for those looking, just to see, just so you guys know where I would have put myself personally. But I still think the top four is 100% interchangeable between Phoenix, Adrian, Pineapple, and myself. I think all four of those are really, really solid. And then, you know, realistically from like Benji up, it is really, really good teams. Mafton and Lucas really are this block by themselves that are considered average, and then Dragons leading the bottom of the barrel when we get to the end.
Let's go.
Yeah, but so
Fix my draft, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, so just to read them out, it's Phoenix at number 1, Adrian at number 2, Pineapple at 3rd, Twee at 4th, Benji 5th, Mafton 6th, Lucas 7th, Dragons is 8th, King is 9th, Give Gobbets 10th, and Lappers is 11th, or as you consider it, 12th.
Yeah, I'm here like, I think I would get Pineapple first, and then those bottom three. I know I think Goblin's got a better team than Farfetch and Lappers.
Oh, really?
But I also think Farfetch is the worst team, just mostly because it's hard to look at.
It just
That's
hurts.
the only thing. It's really hard to look at.
Yeah, I agree. Well, either way, thank you all for watching. All of these will be posted within like a day or two of each other. They probably won't be all posted at once. Well, maybe they will. Who knows? It depends on how lazy I am. But yeah, so either way, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on for the Aaron Power Rankings. Bye-bye.
Peace.